7 o'clock. Welcome to MAD Monica After Dark with your host, Monica. And today's subject is very dear to me porque el tema es de fe, faith. Today's subject is about faith. How do you believe? How do you see something? How do you trust something if you've never seen it, you know? So today's subject is going to be about believing and trusting the process and anything you do in life and just having faith that, you know, that it's going to work out. Welcome to tonight's episode 20 of Faith. In Hebrew 11, I do not read the Bible, but I have this podcast that I listen to that it's always telling me about the Bible and stories and stuff like that, which I love because I don't like to read. I'm not much of a reader, but I'll listen, and I'll listen to it over and over again till I grasp it. But for reading it, when I start reading, I start falling asleep. In anything that I read, it could be the best, it could be the funniest, it could be the craziest story. As soon as I start reading the second to third sentence, I'm already like snoring, like literally. So I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to Bible stories. I love listening to anything that has to do with church and God and Jesus and his time and Samson and Abraham and, you know, all these famous apostles, Moses. I love, you know, the Bible. I love that story. And I don't know, I love that storyline from back in the day. So Hebrew 11. Today's, I don't know about the Bible, but today's sermon in church was like, oh my God, it resonated with today's topic. So I had to like put two and two together for you guys. So we're just going to make it fun. And we're just going to talk about it, you know, and bring some faith. Let's bring some courage. Let's bring some faith into our life. The whole chapter is Hebrew 11. The whole chapter is people who looked crazy for believing in God. So Hebrew 11, there's a lot of little short stories. And all the chapters is a whole bunch of people that they looked crazy because they believed in God. And what was one of those stories in that chapter? Noah's Ark. Noah went in the middle of somewhere and he started building a boat, a ship, a vessel, right? And everybody thought that he was crazy. He kept on telling people, hey, this is going to flood. People thought he was crazy, but he believed. He had a vision, right? He had something, you know, someone told him, right? Like he believed, he heard, he must have had like a dream. Something happened, right? That he was building this boat, this ship, he was building it on faith. He didn't know what he was doing. He was just building it. Something told him to build it. Someone told him to build it. So he's just building it. He doesn't see the purpose of it. He doesn't know the reason to it, but there's like a purpose, right, for everything we do in life. So Noah's Ark in Hebrew 11, he believes in, you know, his faith was so strong. People thought he was crazy, but he had that vision. He stayed consistent, and at the end of the day, who was the crazy one, right? So this is having faith without seeing. So when you say, what's faith without seeing? You know, Monica, how do you have this faith? How do you believe in God if you haven't even met him? I don't know, but I feel him. I feel him in everything I do. I feel him in everything around me. I don't know, I just feel his presence. You know, I feel his presence when things are going good, when people are good. You know, I feel his presence. I don't see him, but I know he's there, right? So that's my faith, right? Another story in Hebrew 11, besides Noah's Ark, was Abraham, right? An angel told Abraham, right? A spirit, someone, something, right? To those of you guys that have different thoughts of it, told Abraham that he had to give up his son, you know, to sacrifice. And Abraham didn't understand, and he didn't know. And And Abraham also, he left his house to go wander. He didn't know what he was doing. He just went to go find himself, right? That's having faith. That's believing in something, right? When you have faith, you believe that something's going to happen, and you pray on it, and you ask God to, help me. You have faith that it's going to get better, right? You have hope. Faith is hope. Faith is believing. So those are just a few stories that I wanted to let you guys know about Hebrew 11. When we talk about, faith looking crazy, it does. When I tell people, look, it's gonna be okay. Just have faith in God. Just pray. People look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? What is that gonna fix? What is that gonna do? I don't know, but just do it and believe in it. And don't say it from the mouth out. You have to say it from the heart out. And really talk to God. A prayer is a prayer is a conversation that you have with God, and so I wanted to let you guys know about Noah, and I want to let you know about Abraham. Sarah, another story in Hebrew 11 is the story about Sarah that she didn't know after all those years. She was just praying and praying and praying that she wanted to have a baby, and she was like, 70, 80 years old, and she had a baby. That's having faith. That's never giving up. That's staying hopeful. That's, just praying, like, God, have faith. Have faith. Anything could happen to you guys. You just have to have faith. I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ and having faith in everything I do in life, and people that come across in my life and everyone that comes around me. I always try to talk to them. I'm not perfect. I'm sinning every single day. I am a sinner. And I'm only going to sin again. Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me for things that I don't understand. But I do have faith that I'm going to get better, that I want to be better, that I'm going to be better, and just working on myself, right? And having faith is also putting in that work. It's just not like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to be better, I'm going to stop cursing. No, it's just, implementing, refraining myself from cursing unless it's necessary. And, we work on it. We work on ourselves, and that's how we build faith. We build character. I know it doesn't make sense, and nothing in life makes sense, but just have faith. Have faith, guys. Believe without seeing. In the Bible, it says that bienaventurado el que cree, el que no ha visto. Oh, my grandmother used to always say that. My grandmother used to always says that we're more fortunate, that we're more blessed, that God has more love, not love because he has love for everybody, but God has more sympathy towards us because we haven't seen him and we believe in him. It's not like the people from his time. Those people from his time, they saw the miracles. They saw everything that Jesus used to do. They knew, God existed. Obviously, Jesus is God, right? So they believed in him. But what about us? We don't see him. Why do we still try to follow the commandments? Why do we still try to be good? Why do we still try to be better, every day? Because we haven't seen him, but we have faith and we believe in him and he's in our heart. And God is good. When you're doing good, that's God. And when people are around you doing good and you're flourishing and you're doing positive, that's God. That's what I'm trying to be around, and that's having faith. And the more people that you gather yourself with that have faith, the more people you gather yourself that they're looking for God and they're looking for that spiritual guidance. Associate yourself with people like that. Those people, nobody's perfect. I know, we look at a lot of people, we're like, oh, look, she goes to church, and look, she's always preaching this and she's always preaching that, but look at the life she lives, look at the way she talks, look at the way she dresses. Let's not judge, guys. We're not perfect. We're all trying to go to heaven, right? We're all trying to go, and we're all trying to be a better human. If we mess up, we pick ourselves up, right? If we fall, pick ourselves up. If we slip, God, I'm sorry, and try not to do it again, right? But just have faith that we're going to get better. And the way we get better is by, going to church at least once a week and listening to the Bible. There's a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of radio station. There's a lot of people always preaching the word in any religion. It doesn't matter, but just try to get yourself closer to God and to Jesus and try to find peace. I feel like every time I have a turmoil and I feel like, oh, the walls are caving in, I always pray and I'm like, God, please. And I pray to God's heart. And I'm like, Corazón de Jesús, please ayúdame, please, God, please help me. Please help me. And then he just calms me, you know. I don't know. Whenever there's like a storm, I'm like, oh my God, please. And then he just gives me that calm and that peace. Doesn't that happen to you guys? I don't know, man, but I don't know. Another thing that, you know, I'm looking at the Virgin Mary right now, right? And another thing is that I didn't know how important it is to read the rosary, to say the rosary at least once a day. I don't know how to say the rosary. I know there's a short version of how to read the rosary or say the rosary, but I want to start implementing that because, you know, like when you're sick, right? What's the first thing you do? You call on your mom. You're like, oh, Mom, you know, I feel bad. What do I do? What do I take, right? You're always calling your mom. You're calling your grandmother. That's the first person you call, right? So, you know, when we're sick, sometimes God is busy, right? But if we call on his mother, she's going to help us out and she's going to have sympathy for us. And all she asks us to do is to read the rosary at least once a day, guys. So I want to start at least implementing that once a week where, you know, I do like a WhatsApp video call and just do like a short rosary prayer. It takes like 5-10 minutes, but I do want to start implementing rosary and just, you know, Hail Mary, full of grace, etc. Sometimes faith requires us to put the promise back on the altar. So sometimes faith requires us to put the promise back on the altar. What does that mean? So I know I have faith, but I need to like act on it, right? I can't just be like, oh yeah, I believe in God. Come on, guys, believe in God. We want to go to heaven. No, action speaks louder than words. So sometimes it's not like trying to get people to follow God or trying to get people to, you know, to know God. Sometimes your action and the way you are and the way you treat people, you know, that's a symbol. That's a symbol of God, symbol of peace, symbol of, you know, nice and happy. So we just have to start implementing it, right? Not just saying it. And we do that with people we don't know. We do that, you know, every day in our life. We always try to leave people's life and be a better person. I always want to leave someone's life and be like, wow, man. Wow, she was really cool. Wow, man, I learned this from her. Wow, you know. So you want to give that wow effect when you meet someone, right? And I don't know. I think we all learn from each other every day. I learn something new from someone, and whenever someone's teaching me about anything, I really grasp on it. I ask questions, and I'm like, yeah, for real. Oh, okay. Knowledge is power, you know. I don't know. I just wanted to say that. Ooh. All right, so let's say faith without action is just talk. Yeah, so faith without action is just talk. What we just talked about right now, right? I could say, oh yeah, I believe in God. Oh, I believe, you know, but then I'm doing all this stuff. It's like, really, you hypocrite, right? So let's work on it, including myself. I know, but we have to act on it. We can't just say it. We really have to act on it. And how do we act on it? Gathering once a week in church and, like I said, reading the Bible or listening to podcasts or just listening to Bible verses and just getting to know the history of the Bible. That's the most famous book in the whole wide world. I keep on hearing that everywhere. I've never read it, but I know I've read chapters of it. And I know today one of the pastor had said in church that there's this chapter that it's just one paragraph. One of the chapters his name is Jude, Jude, and the verse is so small. It's a small little paragraph. It's not pages long or anything. And if we read that one little phrase that one little paragraph of Jude, we could tell people that we've read, sections of the Bible, which is true. So there's little sections that we could read, and just so we could familiarize ourselves with. Like I said, I don't really like to read because I don't understand it. I'd rather someone tell me, and then I could hear it, and then I could read it, and then I could understand it. So I'm more like a visualizer. I have to see it to understand it. So that's why I love the podcast, because I like to hear the stories. Sometimes there's like movie scripts and they're living out the story, and I'm like, wow, this happened like that, wow. And that's the way I learn, Bible verses and Bible stories. Your obedience is key to your breakthrough. So we just have to stay obedient. There's a lot of things that I want to start for next year. I want to start leaving a lot of old habits behind. And I know if I stay obedient, I'm just going to get closer to God and just live a more, righteous life. So your obedience is key to your breakthrough. We can't have bad habits. We can't keep on doing the same things we keep on, like we've been doing all our lives, and expect things to change. We can't expect for us to live a righteous life, still living the things that we're doing, like the worldly things, right? So we just have to be more obedient, and we just have to be more mindful, and just, try to be a little bit better every day. If you're in the season, oh, this is nice. This is nice. The book of Jude. You're right, sister. You're right. You see, my sister went to church with me. She was paying attention. Good job, baby girl. If you're in the season of doubting, oh, listen to this. Oh my God, I love this. If you're in the season of doubting, trust the process and remain in your faith. If you're doubting anything in life, if you're doubting that move, if you're doubting that job, if you're doubting that friendship, if you're doubting that relationship, just trust the process. And keep faith. Keep faith. Keep faith that it's gonna work out. It's gonna get better. I just know that my grandmother always said that tomorrow is a new day. Today is the day. Tomorrow is a new day. Today we're sad and depressed and we're crying. Tomorrow we're happy and joyful. Every day is not promised. So we just have to live it up, make the best of it, and have faith that tomorrow is gonna be better than today. I love it. I'm going to get a little closer to see if you guys have any questions. My back is killing me. My roommate's going to give me a massage because it's killing me. The Book of Jude. Yes. It is. Let's see. I'm going to go all the way. Kelly, thank you for joining, sweetheart. Kelly, mi amor bella. ¿A dónde estaba, marica? Son las 7:18. El programa comenzó a las 7. ¿A dónde estabas, boluda? I had to take the sign out because, as you can see, no se está viendo bien, obvio. ¿Qué yo hice? Hold up. I don't even know what this is. Okay. I had to say, Tiana with the love. El Tid de Gracia. Cónchale. Completed 50% of the life. Thank you, everybody. 80% of the life completed. Celebrate the moment. Life go achieve the goal. Celebrate the moment. Thank you so much, guys. Ponte ahí a darte un masaje. Un placer, mi niña. No, tú sabes, dámelo todo. Hacer un live contigo pronto. Cuídate mucho. Cuando tú quieras, el tilde. Se te quiere. Dale. Happy Sunday. Sign looks good off since you have other decor. Hi, my beautiful sis. Hi, Eddie. Eddie, you know what? Today we were talking about you. We were looking at pictures of you when we were in the hospital with Dad when he was getting bad. And Veronica has a lot of pictures with you and her, and you were there all lovely, dovely, hugging her and everything. I miss you, brother. I love you. An ark, not a ship. Bueno, an ark, whatever. Noah's Ark. That's why it's called Noah's Ark, obvio. Tú sabes que yo, that was his faith. God told him to build it, yeah. Love that story. Just a small seed can move mountains. Oye, remember, faith is like a mustard seed. Do you guys know what that means? I didn't know what that meant. I just found out what that quote meant. Faith is like a mustard seed. Have you heard of that before? Google it. I'm not going to tell you because I just found out. And I feel like you need to find out yourself. Google it. The books of Jude. Church was great today, Cindy. It was good. And let me tell you something. That pastor, I don't know his name, but I'm about to, when this live is over, I'm going to find out what his name is. Ese señor se la comió. I thought he was going to be boring. I was pissed that, the main pastor wasn't there, pero ese tipo se la comió. And it resonated with me. I felt like, oh my goodness, este tipo me está dando como galletas y mano. When he was talking, I was like, oh, he was funny with it. He was on top. We went to VOO Church today. It's so good. I love that church. It's a Christian church, but I'm Catholic, but it doesn't matter. Christian, Catholic, it doesn't matter. As long as you relay that message, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about all the denomination. The mountain symbolizes a significant challenge. The mountain, right? The mustard seed symbolizes the smallest possible amount of faith. Okay, so then what does that mean? Then what does that mean, Michelle? Tell me, what does that mean? Faith is like the seed of a mustard. Entonces, lo que significa eso, que no se mueve una hoja sin la voluntad de Dios. Ooh, girl, that story humbled him real quick. Yeah, so it was pretty much a pastor, like our pastor today was saying a story that happened, like facts, with his dad. His dad was this really, he was a pastor in this small town. And he went to go see this guy that he had just moved to the town and just to give him the blessing, right? Because in those small towns, those pastors, they go and they introduce themselves. So he went to this guy to go introduce himself, and the guy that he went to go introduce himself to, he was actually the son of a pastor, right? So when the pastor's dad went to go introduce himself to this guy, he was like, that car that you see in the driveway? And the pastor looked, he was like, yeah, that's my dream car. And you see this house? And the pastor was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, this is my dream house. So that means that I'm living the dream right now. I don't need you and I don't need your lectures right now. He said that to the pastor, and the pastor was like, oh, okay, have a nice day, right? It reminds me of me in AT&T when customers don't want to talk to me. I'd be like, oh, okay, have a nice day. It's your loss. And then I leave, right? So it resonated with me. So the dad leaves. Fast forward. The guy gets diagnosed with brain cancer, like a brain tumor, something like that. So then he's in his hospital bed, he's about to die. So then they get the pastor, which is the pastor's dad, to go and just pray for him. And so they tell the pastor, hey, can you go pray for this guy? He's about to die. So then the pastor's like, yo, this is the same guy that kicked me out the house. But the pastor was like, all right, why not? I suppose. So he goes to the hospital. He starts praying for this guy. He starts praying for him. He starts praying for him. He starts praying for him. And long story short story long, the guy wakes up and he starts to get better. So a couple of days later, he goes to the pastor's church and he tells the pastor, hey, can I do can I do a little speech? Can I talk to your, your congregation real quick? And he was like, yeah. And he told them the story of what I just told you right now. And it was just his faith. That's what saved him. His faith saved him. So when he said that story today, I was just like, oh my God, oh, God has a way to humble you so quick. So why even be envious, and why even hate on other? Why just not live that peace, and why just not have love and have faith? Have faith that everything's gonna be better. Everything's gonna work out. The part of that had me, was the story, yeah. But when he was sick, Jesus had time for him. So then, yeah, exactly. So I don't got time for. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I left it out. The guy that he went to go see, when he was like, oh, look at my car, look at my house. He told the pastor, I don't have time for Jesus. That's what he told the pastor, and the pastor was like, what? All right, bet, and he left. So now you're in your hospital bed, you're about to die, and guess what? God has time for you. You say you didn't have time for him. He always has time for you. And that's the faith. Oh man, I wish I knew so much about God and the Bible, and I want to be able to talk about it. I know I just have to learn how to read it. Oh Lord Jesus, sorry. But I just want to get better at it. But yeah, that's having faith. Jesus worked in him, and moral of the story, Jesus always has time for you. Yeah, that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story, guys. Because apparently, I'm not even saying the story right. The moral of the story is that Jesus always has time for you. Even when you don't have time for him, he has time for you. I love it. Thank you, Vero. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I need you guys. I need you guys to help me out. Guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Monica After Dark. Today's topic was about faith and just having faith in everything you do. Y vamos a buscar de Dios. Tenemos que buscar de Dios juntos, señores. Tenemos que buscar de Dios solo, calladito, en un grupo, con todo. Tenemos que buscar de Dios. We have to penetrar Dios en la mente, in our lives. I hope everyone has a beautiful, blessed day. If you were not able to stay the whole show, remember you can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Make sure that you like it. Thank you everyone who joined, which is almost the same people. I love you guys. You guys are my real friends. And when I make it famous, you guys will be the only one that's going to make it with me to the top. Los reto que se queden abajo tranquilito, como tan ahora me meto, calladito, callado. Thank you everybody for joining my live. I appreciate the love, and have a beautiful, blessed day. Happy Sunday.